Hi, babes, and welcome back to another episode of Thanks for Stopping By. Welcome back to the podcast. I want to first start off by saying apologies for this episode being a little bit late. I just got really busy, and like I said a couple times, schedule's been pretty hectic, and the world's been pretty hectic, so a lot of shit going on. So I apologize for being about a day late on this one, and a little bit later into Friday than I would have liked. But I appreciate y'all sticking with me and coming to listen anyway, coming back to the podcast week after week. It really means the world. But one of the few things I did get to do when I did have some free time, because here's the thing, right? Sometimes you just got no spoons. Sometimes your spoons are all dirty, and you just can't wash them, and you just gotta sit down and relax, and sometimes, you just gotta chill and play a video game or watch some TV or watch a movie or something or read a book. And I, on the little bits of free time that I have been watching a lot of anime out of nowhere. And I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I have such a weird relationship with anime, right? Because for a long when I was younger, I liked anime a lot. I liked like Dragon Ball, and I liked Naruto a lot, and little ones here and there. I'd seen some Inuyasha. Basically like a lot of us, like whatever I could catch on Toonami. I was huge on Yu-Gi-Oh! I know I've said that before. Never got super into Pokemon, but that's because the school I went to when I was younger, you kind of had to pick a side. So you were either a Yu-Gi-Oh! Kid or a Pokemon kid, and I was always like, trying to be tough and cool. So I was like, oh yeah, you like fucking Pokemon. Those are all, they're all cute little squirrels or whatever. Meanwhile, look at my stuff. Look at Yu-Gi-Oh! It's all scary and there's cool monsters. Bleh. And now I realized as I'm older, I like both of those aesthetics, and most often I like them together. So I was kind of full of shit. But yeah, I've always had like a kind of like a pretty standard basic relationship with a lot of anime. Here and there I'd watch a new one. Like when Attack on Titan came out and it was really popping off, I checked it out. I didn't really like it as much as everyone said I would. It was alright. It just kind of, people are getting mad at me for saying that. It just kind of felt like it's kind of written and directed like a zombie show. I just got kind of bored watching it. So I never lasted too long with Attack on Titan. But, like I said, I would check out different ones here and there. But there was a while where I kind of swore off anime. And the reasoning was I had a friend in high school who just kind of fucking ruined anime for me. Because they were just obsessed with it, like that's all they did all day was watch anime, and that's totally fine. But the problem was when we would hang out, I'd have to watch all this anime that I didn't really care about, and it sort of was like, hey, check this anime out, or check this one out, all this stuff, and I'd have to like sit through a bunch of episodes of something I didn't really like. And so it kind of turned me off on a lot of them, I like a very specific type of anime, as I've come to learn. So when I have to sit down and watch an anime about a bunch of people in high school who want to date like one boy or something. It's just, like it's not my cup of tea. So being forced to watch it, I'm kind of like, well, I don't want to watch any anime now. Fuck this shit. And there's also a lot of tropes and stuff in anime that I don't really like personally. And it's not to like shit on people who like those tropes by any means. There's plenty of tropes in like the TV shows I watch, like, Sons of Anarchy's full of, stupid shit. It's just personally, there's stuff in a lot of anime that I don't really like all that much. But now that I'm kind of being able to experience and watch animes on my time and like pick and choose what I want to watch, holy fuck, have I been watching some cool ones. Jesus. Okay, so first of all, I want to say there was one anime I watched, I think it came out like 2 years ago, around 2019-ish. And I didn't hear about it from anyone. I didn't see it on a YouTube video or whatever, like I find most of my anime. I just came across it, and it was called The Promised Neverland. And holy fuck, The Promised Neverland is super fucking cool. And I won't spoil, or I'll try not to spoil a lot about The Promised Neverland, because I think the less you know about it, the better, as far as going into the show itself. But I will say it is amazing. The storytelling is incredible. The writing for the characters is totally awesome. Super, super great villain. And it's so interesting too, because I'm kind of figuring out what shonen and like what different types of animes are, and I think they classify The Promised Neverland as a shonen anime, which, from what I gather online, what I've gathered from a lot of people, basically shonen animes are ones that are directed at younger boys, and I think it's shoujo anime are ones directed at younger girls. And obviously, because I have a huge problem with needlessly gendering shit like that anyway. So the way I kind of take it is more or less, rather than gendering them because it's fucking stupid, I just kind of read it as like shonen anime are just very action-packed, sort of combat-heavy or action-adventure style animes, whereas shoujo animes are more dramatic or they're like calmer, they're more based in like drama or comedy, or they're less, fight scene heavy. At least that's the way I personally like to think of that. I'm sure there's going to be people that don't feel the same, and like, if that's the way you feel, or if that's a completely, fucking butchering of the terms, then I apologize, but that's just the way I kind of see it in my brain. But what I've realized, and why I think I like The Promised Neverland so much, is I really, really like shonen anime with horror elements. And I didn't realize how big of a genre that was at first, Obviously, the most popular one being Attack on Titan. But like I said before, I never really got super into Attack on Titan. So I was just kind of like, fuck, I don't know, like, hopefully I can find something. And then I started watching Tokyo Ghoul a while ago, and I was into it. I liked Tokyo Ghoul. It was cool. I haven't finished it yet, for the second season at least. But it was fun. It was cool. I like the fight scenes a lot. I like the horror imagery a lot. But from what I heard, that's a pretty basic anime. Pretty entry level for the most part, I guess, if you want to tier things for some reason. But yeah, and then I started watching The Promised Neverland. Holy fuck, just the show, it's the art alone, like the horror art, and the horror aspects of the show are fucking awesome, and it's super intense, and like so many, there's so many moments that are like just really give you like a weird chill, right? Like, I don't, as far as anime goes, there's not a lot of like pure horror experiences. And there's a YouTuber named Super Eye Patch Wolf who has a really good video about that. called I believe it's Why Things Scare Us, and also his video about the Junji Ito collection. So please watch that, because that's gonna explain in way better detail what I'm trying to say. But basically, to sum it up, it's kind of just pointing out the fact that the reason there's not a lot of pure horror anime is because anime has a very pretty and aesthetically pleasing art style. Even though there are different art styles in anime. Obviously, it's not one style, but a lot of animators are taught to kind of make things aesthetically pleasing and pretty and cool to look at. And with horror, you kind of want to do the opposite in a way. Obviously, you want to look at a creature or something scary and be unsettled by it. And that's why I think Junji Ito, obviously, is amazing. You know, he's fucking genius at what he does. But also, the movie Perfect Blue, first of all, is a perfect example of that. And like I said, Eyepatch Wolf talks about it in his video. So I always knew about things like Perfect Blue and thought that it was a perfect example of that. And I wanted it in a show. And I think The Promised Neverland does a really good job of that. Because it has a very cutesy, pretty aesthetically pleasing animation style at the forefront. But I think they do that on purpose to kind of mislead you for the horror aspects, because when scary shit happens, the movements and the twitchiness of the characters and just the way their faces almost kind of warp in like fear is so awesome, and it's so intense, and like it makes these scenes so fucking scary. I'm talking about it right now in my car at night, and I'm like getting freaked out looking around. But yeah, so I think it's just such a perfect example of like a shonen horror anime. And I'm really excited. Season 2 is coming out right now. As like it's coming out in episodes week to week. So I'm really looking forward to watching more of that. And then another one I watched not too long ago, earlier last year actually, was Demon Slayer. And Demon Slayer fucking rules. Demon Slayer kicks ass. And again, I won't spoil anything too major in the show. I'll only try and tell things that people would know by like watching the trailers. But if you really, really don't want to know anything, just try and skip ahead a little bit. But I'm really just going to try and talk about, pretty basic stuff. But yeah, Demon Slayer is really cool. And it's got a lot of really cool imagery, first of all. Some of the fight animation, specifically with I almost called him the wrong name. With like Tanjiro's sword, and his sister Nezuko. She has a lot of like powerful moves that are just it's such a gorgeous show. But again, has a lot of horror elements. And while I think The Promised Neverland was definitely a lot less action-packed and more focused on the horror and thriller aspect of the show, Demon Slayer is definitely obviously a little bit more action-packed, more of a pure shonen anime, but it definitely still has those horror elements, especially with some of the demon designs. Some of the creature designs in the show are so cool, and like some of the villains have these like really cool powers, and it was like so much fun to watch, and I'm like super super excited for the movie. Supposedly it's supposed to come out next month, I think. At the time I'm recording this. So I'm super, super excited to see it and kind of see where the story takes off. I love the main villain, who's basically just kind of looks like if like a mafia boss was a demon. I think that's so fucking sick. Like he walks around with his like sick hat and his suit, and like he just totally like blends into real life, and it's like super cool. And he's like a crime boss, but he's also a demon, and it's like It's just fucking sick. I love it. I love the show so much. It's really cool. I'm getting Ryan to watch it right now. Um, and she's an episode or two in, and she's really liked it so far. And then, yeah, so we were watching that, and then the last one, too, that I started watching, and I'm so pissed because I literally watched all of it in one day, or I was trying to watch all of it in one day, is Jujutsu Kaisen, which that show is fucking buck wild. That show fucking rules, and the fights are really, really cool. And God, fucking, I mean, here's the thing. I'm again, I don't want to spoil too much, but I have to talk about this. So if you don't want like mild spoilers for Jujutsu Kaisen, skip ahead like 2 or 3 minutes. But basically, I mean, the whole team in Jujutsu Kaisen, our main team, it's just the team from Naruto. Like, our main character is Naruto, our main character is basically like the Naruto type. You know, he's very goofy, you know, lacks like kind of he's kind of goofy and like messes around and you know, whatever, but he and you know, doesn't have a lot of family. But also doesn't like recognize how strong he is and has this like power inside of him that's sealed away, you know. And then they had his buddy Fushiguro, who in my headcanon is a trans man. BT dub, fight me about it. I think he he's obviously like the Sasuke type, right? He's like very standoffish, you know, mostly just focuses on strength, less of the revenge on my brother arc, but definitely the more standoffish, doesn't joke around one. And then our other girl is Sakura, definitely the that type, you know, sassy, kind of lacks a lot of self-awareness. And then our teacher, the Kakashi, who instead of a face mask wears a blindfold. You know, and is like crazy ultra powerful, but like is kind of a goofball. And Gojo's fucking sick, by the way. He fucking rules, and his domain expansion is buck nasty. Which if you don't know what that means, just watch the show, please. It's buck fucking wild, this show. And I've really, really been enjoying Jujutsu Kaisen. Let me tell you, holy shit, this show is fucking nuts.com. It's so insane. All the fights are fucking awesome. I love that it's like, you know, a horror shonen anime like the other ones I was just talking about, but this one's like ghost shit, like spirits and stuff, and like the main character's in an occult club, which I think is awesome. I think all the character design's really cool, and it's just a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun to watch powerful people fight each other. You know, it's why we all liked Dragon Ball, right? So I like basically fusing that with like ghost horror elements. I think is really, really fucking sick. But I was watching it, and I was watching the dub, and before any of you purists fucking yell at me about how subs, not dubs, or whatever, I just want to say I have a firm stance already. I'm telling you right now, I have a firm stance that I do not care dubs or subs. Either or is fine with me. But here's the thing. Let me tell all of you. I want you to come in real close. I want you to sit down on mom's lap, and I'm gonna tell you a secret here. If I start watching something dubbed or subbed, however I start watching the anime, yes, the anime, you heard what I said. I said what I said. That's how I'm gonna fucking finish it. You know? And if you don't like that, well, I can just go ahead and, scoot off my seat a little bit. I can, shuffle down my leggings that I'm wearing right now. And, you can grab yourself a knife and a fork, perhaps a spoon, maybe, if you like. and you can eat my whole ass. You know? Because if I watch it subbed or dubbed, if I start watching it one way, I'm gonna like how the voices sound. Like, fucking how dare someone honk their car right now. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, if I fucking start watching something and the voices are a certain way, whether it's subbed or dubbed, like I said, it just depends on how I start watching that one. I'm gonna I'm gonna hear those voices and associate the character's design with that certain voice. So if I start watching it a different way, it's not gonna sound right to me. You know what I mean? Like, and the reason I'm going on about this, I fucking totally forgot why I was going on about this for a second, is because I got up to episode 8 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and I was super excited to finish it all in one day, like I said. And then it said that the dub for episode 8 was only available for Crunchyroll Premium members, and the rest of the dubbed episodes were not available yet. And I was like, holy shit, the dub's not done. It's not like finished yet. That's fucking not good. And so I'm super sad that I have to sit around and wait. And I didn't realize, you know, because everyone's going to say, go, just finish it subbed. I don't want to. I want to hear it how I was hearing it already, you know? And here's another thing. This is also, I hate this fucking feature on both Crunchyroll and Funimation, at least on my Fire Stick and on the PS4. I haven't tried it on my phone or like a computer or anything yet, but on my console and my Fire Stick. If I'm watching something dubbed, it won't let me still put on subtitles. Because here's the thing, I watch everything with subtitles. I think that should be a more normal thing. I think we should all start getting used to watching things with subtitles so that people who are differently abled, as far as hearing goes, are able to enjoy shit without having to have a fucking special machine or, you know, whatever. Like, I think, like, even at the movie theaters, like, there should be subtitles. And if it's that distracting, there's this really, really cool tip. It's a really cool thing I read about online, and it's called minding your fucking business and not looking at them. You know what I mean? If it's that distracting to have to read the whole time, don't. Because you're already watching the movie without reading shit, so just continue to do that, even if there are words on the screen, you know? Do you know what I mean? Do you understand? Probably not, but nonetheless, shut up about it. But yeah, so I watch everything with subtitles, and Crunchyroll won't let me put on subtitles if I'm watching something dubbed, and it's really fucking annoying. I hate it, because I want to still know what they're saying. Sometimes I can't hear that well. Sometimes me and Ryan start saying something because we're like telling a joke or pointing something out, and I still want to be gathering the information, and I don't want to have to pause it and feel like a bitch for pausing the show because somebody was trying to finish a thought. So let me hashtag where's my dub subtitles? Where's my dub sub? That's to Crunchyroll and Funimation. Everyone go on your Twitter right now. Hashtag where's the dub sub? And give no context until they figure it out. They ask, what do you mean? You link them this episode. And you say, listen to this bitch's whole rant, and now you'll know why people are pissed off. And by people, I mean just her. Oh my gosh, I'm so much. But yeah, so that's why I haven't finished Jujutsu Kaisen. By the way, it's because the dub's not done. And I was gonna say, I want to ask somebody: is this something that happens a lot? Because Another anime I started watching, one that I just found out about literally the day I started watching it, yesterday. I was just watching a video about like the best anime fights, and I saw this one, and it's called Akudama Drive. And it's basically this like cyberpunk anime where it's Suicide Squad. You know, like if we're being real about it, it's just Suicide Squad but anime. But it's basically this like cyberpunk-ish, style anime where all these criminals have to do a job together. And it's really cool, and I think it has a really fun, cool cast of characters. And the fight choreography is fucking just so good. Oh, it's just so goddamn incredible. The fights are amazing. The animation is gorgeous. Holy shit, there's one fight they have in this hotel room, and one of them, they're fighting, and one of them accidentally hits a button to make it like the hotel room play like sexy time music and visuals, and the room like lights up these like very pretty, vibrant purples and blues, and there's like this water dragon floating through the room as they're fighting. It's just so pretty and so amazing to look at. And I was like 3 episodes in, and then I find out that there's no more fucking dub. And I was so upset because I was having so much fun. This show is so good, and I want to keep watching and know what happens, but I don't want to fucking switch to the sub. And I know there's people listening to this right now, and they're super upset at me, right? There's going to be so many people that are like, oh my God, bitch, if you want to watch it that bad, just watch it subbed. But I just want to say, did you not hear what I just said about how extra I am? If I started it dubbed, mama, I don't want to watch it subbed now. And that's that. I'm sorry. But that's where it ends. And if you don't like it, you can write to your local Congress about it. I like how I'm like defending myself as if anyone gives a shit about what I'm saying. Like there's actually anyone attacking me. No one fucking cares about the way I watch anime. No one cares, and I know that. But it's also fun to be super dramatic about it. But yeah, I just want to be able to watch those shows that I said. Jujutsu Kaisen and Akudama Drive mainly are the ones. Because I started watching Promised Neverland subbed, so I'm gonna probably start watching it. Well, I'm restarting it with Ryan, so who knows? I probably will end up watching it dubbed. But those other two, I really, really want to watch. I want to keep watching them dubbed because it's like I said, it's how I see the characters now. Like those voices match, and when I switch, it just doesn't work for me. Like here's a perfect example of the other side, because I feel like I'm leaning heavily towards dubs in this episode, and I feel like people are going to start being like, no, she just likes dubs. A perfect example of the other end was I started One Punch Man subbed. I watched it all the way through subbed, and then season 2 came out, and then the dub for season 1 came out. Somebody kept telling me, yeah, you gotta watch it dubbed, it's so good, da, da, da. And so I tried to rewatch it dubbed, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the voices. I didn't think they matched. I didn't like the way they sounded. Nothing against the voice actors. I think they all did an incredible job. But I just didn't like the way it sounded because it didn't match in my brain. Holy shit. What the fuck was that? Oh, I really hope the microphone picked that up. That was hella scary. What the fuck? Y'all, it's fucking crazy out here. It's like the ending of Joker out here. But yeah, I didn't like it. Same thing with Attack on Titan. The little bits that I saw. I tried to watch the dub when it came out, and I didn't. I thought the dub was really bad. But yeah, so it goes both ways for me. But the important thing, I think, subs or dubs, no matter what, the important thing is I think I'm finally at a point in my life where I'm enjoying anime again. And that makes me really happy because I love anime and I love anime conventions and I love, I go to SAC Anime everywhere except for this year. Shout out Rona. And, I love anime and I love that I'm being able to watch it and have fun again and watch it on my time and watch the anime that I like. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, babes. Thanks for listening to me yell about anime for, half an hour or whatever. I appreciate it. It was fun. It was fun to come on here and talk about all my anime loves and more importantly, all my anime needs. You know what I mean? But yeah, thank y'all for joining me on the podcast here. It was a pleasure as always. Make sure you go over and listen to my new podcast, Saffron Sapphics, with my lovely wife, Ryan. It's out on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Wherever you can find this podcast, you can also find that podcast. And it is such a treat. We talked about Rockstar games and how they're horribly misogynistic and the potential for a Bully sequel in our last episode. So you can go over to Spotify, iTunes, or Google Podcasts and check that out. All those links will be in the description below. So go show some love. I'd really appreciate it because I love that show a lot. I love Ryan a lot, and that show's a lot of fun to do. And yeah, you can also go and support me on Patreon. Me and Ryan have a joint Patreon called The Ellisons. You can find the link down below. It's patreon.com/The Ellisons. And you can go to that link and donate and help us keep making the show and help us stay afloat and stay alive. And, just help fund some new content. We have some ideas in the works and some really cool stuff coming along. So it would mean the world to me if you headed over there and donated if you can. And yeah, thanks for joining me. I'm hoping to have, again, I'm doing weekly uploads. I've been doing it. I'm just hoping to have them a little more on time, upcoming, but I appreciate y'all sticking with me and, understanding, and giving me a little time and, to wash a couple spoons off for this. But yeah, with that being said, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. And most importantly, thanks for stopping by.